blah. I guess something like that. I don't know. I hate myself. Seriously, it's something I'm working on, but right now this video is not about my issues. It's about something that I figured out recently, which is why did I ignore branding for so long? And I feel like an idiot for doing that. Hopefully, by the end of this video, I would have nudged you a little bit towards considering branding for your business, which you probably have been ignoring, probably have been having not the right idea all this while. So this video will give you the following. 1, understand what exactly branding is. What are some activities you can do to start branding? 2, get some examples of how branding can help you. So let's start with the bias. Recently, I've been going through Convert EDU. It's this online free resource where they have a lot of free ebooks, webinars for people who do landing pages and stuff like that. And it's by Lead Pages. I've seen it many times. Every day we are bombarded by loads of free resources, free stuff here, there. But I think we all have a very selective bias. I think the bias I had was to the word branding. When I think of branding, I think branding is colors, branding is fonts, branding is something fancy that only luxurious businesses do. Branding is something that you have to do only after you get a certain amount of sales. Branding is something you do only after you validate your product and when you're in a place to finally. In my head, it was very much like branding is something you do after you grow your business to a certain level. I don't know what that certain level is. I haven't really thought about it, but that's what I thought branding was. So I think a lot of us have this bias. When we hear about the branding, word branding, when we hear about the word branding, we think, I can only make that face. This is the face I think I made when I heard about the word branding. What is branding and why branding will help you? The best products don't win. The best communicators win. I've read 2 branding books so far and a lot of articles, and I've seen a few webinars, and I'm starting to just see the importance of it. You can have the best product in the world, but if you don't communicate it well, you don't win. You don't get customers, you don't get sales, you don't get fans. This is very obvious stuff, everybody knows. But what is best communication? The best communication is usually simple. Best communication is usually transferable. What is transferable? When I talk about what my product is and business is, and when somebody explains that to a friend, they should have no confusion in explaining it. As simple as that. So best communication is usually simple. And when I think about it, branding is just simplification in many ways. Branding is simplifying, and when you don't simplify your communication, you lose. When you complicate your communication, you lose. When you complicate your communication, nobody knows why they should buy it for. People talk about it in terms of positioning. All of these are very related cousins to the word branding. I think branding is the big umbrella under which everything falls down. And why should you do branding first? To increase your sales, to have a successful business, you need to be able to communicate successfully. Your communication has to be the best. Best communication, successful communication is always and always simple. Marketing is all about communication. Branding helps you identify and clarify and simplify your business and products in a way that is simple, effective, and fast. People talk about it a lot, but the simplest form of branding is come up with 5 adjectives that has to be prioritized again. Not that you cannot focus on other things, but these 5 adjectives are very important. An example of 2 things are, take 2 gyms. One gym is result oriented, focused, serious, sophisticated, and straightforward. Other gym is friendly, has a sense of community. Not that in the other gym they don't get results. Ultimately, I think if you go to a gym and work out, you get some results compared to no result at all sitting at home and eating potato chips. But I'm trying to nudge you in terms of thinking of what you should decide your business's qualities are. One of the biggest fear I think I realized myself I had was that people don't do branding because they're afraid. They're afraid to make decisions. We are unsure about whether simplifying will prevent customers. We are in a scarcity mode where we think, oh my God, if I reduce my business to this, maybe there are people out there who also want this, and maybe I'm not catching them. But I'm also this, and I should specify that in my marketing copy. But this is also another attribute of our business, and I want to specify that in our marketing copy. And we go on this rant, and then what we end up doing is we end up trying to be right for everybody, and then we don't attract anybody. And deep down, this all comes down to fear. And I still suffer from this fear, to be honest. I'm afraid that I'm going to be not a success, and it's okay. All of us are afraid to be not a success, which is why we need to do branding. we need to sit down, be honest with ourselves, and ask ourselves what are the most important attributes. And these adjectives, for example, like I gave you, these adjectives are for a sample client that we did branding for recently. And once I nail down these adjectives, everything becomes simple. You can always make decisions in your business. Your graphics becomes easy. The way you describe your work to a web designer becomes easy. To a landing page copywriter becomes easy. To your customers becomes easy. Maybe you're talking to an employee. You want to set priorities to an employee. That becomes easy. So what is branding? According to another author, branding is the gut feeling that comes to somebody when they talk about your product or your business. It's very, very kind of woo-woo, fuzzy. Maybe in somebody's words it can be BS, because it's not straightforward, but it's a gut feeling. It's a feeling. Ultimately, it's a feeling, and feelings are very complicated sometimes, but it's a gut feeling that somebody gets when they talk about your business. I don't know if all of this helped you understand about branding, but I'm going to make more videos about how to actually do branding. And one of the strategies I told you was come up with the 5 adjectives. That's just one. You can cover branding in so many attributes, but the best thing to come up with is sit together and ask yourself, how can I clearly communicate my business values to somebody? Come up with 5 adjectives. You'll be surprised to see how really hard this is, but I think you should do it. You should sit down and do this, because there's going to be a lot of fighting thoughts. You're going to be like, this is hard to simplify my business is complicated, but unless you simplify, you lose. This is where everything starts. Thank you.